but a little bit modification to it. Same exercise I call it, but a little bit modification to it. Now we are going to stretch your left leg back. Now you stretch your right hand, fully stretch at the back. You look up. All right. How was that? Please, I want you to try that as well at home. Get on your mat, your knees on the floor, 2 palms there. Stretch your right leg and the left hands out there. Okay, I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, thank you very much. Now you change. Fully out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Thank you very much. You can see the leg pointing straight and the hand wall fully stretched at the front there. Okay, we got it one more time. Out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, from the other side, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you very much. Now with this, you are also getting the balance fitness as well. That's another component in fitness, your balance. Many cannot even get it. When you stretch it out this way, they tend to be shaking. No, that's not good for you and me. You stretch it out, get your balance. You have to maintain your balance. You can see my legs pointing straight and the hands out there. So, my dear brother, this time around, we're going to alternate the hands and the legs together. You get it this way. 1, you change, 2, like that. Okay, let's go. 1, you can see the balance. All right, you start it all over again. Okay, get your balance. 2, thank you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Go. That's it. That's it. You can get as many 10. This is another 10 now. We've gotten like 3 10s now. Now make it 30. And we're going to 60 this time around. Now I told you we have to step it all a little bit. We can't continue to be getting 10, 10, 5, 5 at the same time again. No, no, no. We are stepping up. We are getting improved fitness. So we need to step up the exercise as well. Okay, now we've got 30 from the 60. Now we are looking for the last 30. Now let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So that makes it 40. You know, I told you we are looking for 60. Okay. The next 10. The next 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. 50. Okay. The last 10. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. All right, that's good. So you can see now we've gotten 60 abdominal walk. Okay, all right, stand up. Stand up. Thank you very much. How was that? Where are you feeling it? Just let them know. Where are you feeling it?
The lower back.
The lower back.
This side.
Okay, the lower abdominal.
Yeah.
Okay. Your bicep and tricep there. Where again? You're not feeling it there?
I can feel it there.
That's what I want you to know. Thank you very much. It's good for you. All right. If you are as many as you can, you don't force yourself. When you're tired, you pause. You breathe in from the nose, out from your mouth. And then you rest like 20-30 seconds. It's okay for you, and make sure you get back to it. Please. And if you're feeling uncomfortable with it, you have to stop for today. You have to stop for today. Please. Tomorrow is another day. You can join us in doing the exercise. All right, from here, let me lead this. You can see still on the floor walk today. Okay? All right. All right. All right. I want to know if you can go to do this. All right, I'm up. You can see. All right, you can get your mask. Get the mask there. You can only use on the floor. Don't get your mask. You know what I'm waiting for you. You can get your mat as well. Or if you have a small mattress that you can use it as well. Just make sure you make yourself comfortable and you're putting on nice sports clothing. Nice sports clothing, your canvas and your shirt or your shorts like this. So that will make you more comfortable. All right, up. So when you come up, you bring your knees to the elbow there. back. We change it up. Thank you. Now we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How was that? Good. It's good for you and me. Okay. My friend, my daddy, my uncle, my sister, my brother are home. I tell you, good health doesn't just come to you. Good body doesn't just come to you. You have to encourage yourself, you motivate yourself, you keep on joining Keep It program every morning, and I bet it we are going to get better body and sound mind as well. Okay, thank you. Are you counting there? Yes. Okay. 9, 20. Okay, from there we're moving to this. You come up, you bring the two legs to yourself. 1, right, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that's another 10 of another different kind of floor routine. Okay, all right, before we go today, let me just give you this. All right, the two legs up. So now we're bringing the fingers to the toes there. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's keep it. It's good for me and you. Thank you for joining us. Join us tomorrow on same program, same time, and on same TV. Thank you very much. We love you.
Good day, friends. My name is Olasode Oladapo, and I am both excited and humbled to bring you these moments of inspiration. We've been having a beautiful time since the beginning of this journey, and I'm sure that you are one step closer to your greatness than you were at the beginning of the journey. Today, we are going to be talking about growth. I describe growth as continuous increase in scope and capacity in all areas of life. I describe growth as continuous, steady increase in scope and capacity in all areas of life. Growth is important for the following reasons. 1, it's a part of life. If you are not growing, then you are not living. Growth is also important because it's an assurance of survival. The only way you get to make it to the next level, the only way you get to survive and thrive in this world is if you keep growing. And eventually, and more importantly, growth is a multiplier of greatness, because the more you grow, the more you can take on, the more you can achieve, and the much more you can take on, and the cycle continues like that. Little wonder great people are always seeking to grow in all areas of life. Dear friend, to totally maximize your greatness, you need to grow in all areas. You cannot escape it. You need to grow. To achieve this, let me suggest the following. Take a honest look at every area of your life and assess yourself. Please note that the aim of assessing yourself is not to get frustrated, but to identify the areas you need to work on. Also, it is not just to become strong in the areas where you are weak. It is to keep getting progressively stronger in all areas, even in areas where you are considered strong. Also, ask yourself this all-important question: what one step can I take that will help me get stronger and better in all areas of my life? I say this because a lot of people never improve themselves because they are overwhelmed by how far they need to go. Let me say this: no matter how far you are behind, all you need is one step in the right direction and you can grow. All you need is just one step. There's always that one thing. I do not believe a person ever finds himself in a position where there's not one thing he can do to improve his life. That one step is the hardest. Once you conquer it, I assure you, growth becomes easier, and in no time you will find yourself where you want to be. Another reason a lot of people never improve themselves is because they are content with where they are. Allow me to also say, regardless of where you are right now, there is room for improvement. You may be the best right now, but if you do not improve yourself, I'm sure that there are people coming behind you who are willing to do what it takes, and as time goes on, they will take the spot from you. The effort, and finally, the effort that brought you where you are now, if maintained, can take you forward. As you move forward, it becomes easier to sustain and maintain momentum. My question for you is this: why stop when you can move forward with little or no effort? With little or no added effort, sorry. Also, the more you move forward, the better you can contribute to your society. The next step, after identifying what you need to do to move forward, the next thing to do is to take action. Inaction is the surest guarantee of failure. However, you need a combination of patience and commitment to ensure you experience the reward that you desire for your actions. I'm sure that you've been inspired and motivated in this time. Till I come your way next time, I want to say a big thank you to our producers, and I want you to never forget, your greatness is assured. Thank you.
Cassava is a vegetable that is a staple ingredient of many diets worldwide. It is a good source of nutrients, but people should avoid eating it raw. Raw cassava contains cyanide, which is toxic to ingest, so it is vital to prepare it properly. Also, there are two types of cassava, sweet and bitter. Bitter cassava is harder and has a much higher cyanide content. Most of the cassava used in the United States is sweet. In the United States, people grind cassava down to make tapioca, which they eat as pudding or use as a thickening agent. Cassava is a root vegetable. It is the underground part of the cassava shrub, which has the Latin name Maniox esculenta. Like potatoes and yams, it is a tuber crop. Cassava roots have a similar shape to sweet potatoes. People can also eat the leaves of the cassava plant. Humans living along the banks of Amazon River in South America grew and consumed cassava hundreds of years before Christopher Columbus first voyaged there. Today, more than 80 countries plant the tropical growth cassava, and it is a primary component of the diet of more than 800 million people around the world. Cassava is a rich, affordable source of carbohydrates. It can provide more calories per acre of the crop than cereal grain crops, which makes it a very useful crop. In developing nations, people prepare and eat cassava in various ways in different parts of the world, with baking and boiling being the most common methods. In some places, people ferment cassava before eating it. It is essential to peel cassava and never eat it raw because it contains dangerous levels of cyanide unless the person cooks it thoroughly before eating it. Benefits and nutritional profile of cassava. Cassava is a calorie-rich vegetable that contains plenty of carbohydrates and key vitamins and minerals. Cassava is a good source of vitamin C, thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin. The leaves, which are also edible if a person cooks them or dries them in the sun, can contain up to 25% protein. However, the cassava root does not deliver the same nutritional value as other tuber vegetables. Tapioca, starch, is gaining attention as a source of gluten-free flour to make bread and other baked products that are suitable for people with an intolerance to gluten. Cassava is a source of resistant starch, which scientists suggest can boost a person's gut health by helping nurture beneficial gut bacteria. Resistant starches remain relatively unchanged as they pass through the digestive tract. Cassava contains only small amounts of proteins and fats. As a result, people who use cassava as a primary dietary staple may need to eat extra protein or take protein supplements to avoid malnutrition. Since cassava leaves are a source of protein, people in some parts of the world emphasize and combine the roots and leaves of the plant as something useful. So use it for feeding animals, making medications, manufacturing fabrics, paper and building materials like plywood, making bioethanol for fuel.
Plant our cassava. We must not plant cassava when the rain has stopped, like December period. We can start planting our cassava from February, March, or April, as far as the rainfall. We can plant our cassava in two major ways. Firstly, if it is riverside, make ridges and put cassava tree you are intended to plant on already made ridges. Then put some grasses on it. The second step is to first cut all the unwanted grasses from the land you want to use. Then make ridges as far as the rainfall and start planting your cassava stem on it. The inches of stem to plant must not up to a ruler size so as to allow your cassava to have good root, because cassava did not have branch unlike other crops. Cassava in Igbo land is called akupo anu. In Hausa land it is called rogo, while it is being called ege or paki in Yoruba land. In Yoruba land, they named cassava according to their type, like ege oko iyawo, ege aboya, or ijileruwa, ege dudu, ege arugbo elu, and so on. We can plant all this cassava in the same period, but we cannot harvest it in the same time because of their nature. Spraying farm with chemicals are the best ways we can use to collect our cassava from disease. Another way of taking proper care of our farm is to remove unwanted weeds regularly so as not to allow animals like rabbits to damage our cassava. My advice for farmers is that farmers should try and take care of their farm very well. They should try and remove weed when necessary in order to yield good results. Like if farmers take care of his farm very well, he can see 2 or 3 motos of cassava inside 1 acres of land. Apart from all these foods, gari, eba, apart from all those foods derived from cassava, we can still use cassava for other things. Its work cannot be overlooked, including the pillar we peel from cassava. Even cassava stem and leaves can also be used in herbal way.
Polyvine chloride, and other industrial products. All these products can be made from cassava root depending on the area people want to go to with, that is gari processing. Gari processing is very profitable business in Nigeria. Majority of families in the east, west, middle belt and some parts in the north consume gari every day. This involves frying the fermented and separated cassava from the chaff after the water in it has dried up. Fufu production. Here you find the cassava roots in a container full of water and allow a period of 4 days within which it has fermented. The fermented cassava roots are now separated from the chaff using a sieve. The cassava is now ready for cooking. You can also process starch, abacha, amala and some others. Note, in planting your cassava, you should not overlook the diseases that can attack your cassava crops at any time before harvesting, like root rot disease that cause cassava root decay, as well as anthracnose nose and mosaic diseases.
Yam originated in Africa, Asia, Caribbean. Africa calls yam inyami, which is where we got the word yam. They are cylindrical and vary in sizes. Some of the largest yam have weigh more than 100 pounds and have several feet long. It was introduced in Europe in 19th century when potato crop was falling victim of diseases and is still grown in France for the Asian food market. The tuber are harvested after 6 months of growth. Yam farming attended the historic period on west coast of Africa with early Iberian explorer Pacheco Pereira, who in 1505 mentioned the existence of established trade between Benin in East Niger Delta and yam growing areas in the hinterland at the time of his visit to Nigeria. Yam is widely grown in Nigeria and mostly grown in Boko Town, Benue State. In many parts of the country, it is said that yam is food and food is yam. Nigeria is by far the world's largest producer of yam, accounting for over 70 to 76% of the world production. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization reports in 1985, Nigeria produced 18.3 million tons of yam from 1.5 million acres of land, representing yam production in Africa. Taraba is the top region by production of yam in Nigeria. As of 2005, production of yam in Taraba was 3,162 metric tons. That accounts for 12.89% of Nigerian production of yam.
My name is Ruben Ayonwale. I'm a farmer. The first step of planting yam begins in the month of August, which includes clearing of land. After the land is being cleared, you will make heap of loose soil of about 1 meter high and 1 meter apart from each other. There are two different types of redge, which include latter redge and bed redge. But latter redge is more suitable for yam farming. Yam is best planted between October and November in modes or redge by planting seed yam, preserved for new planting seasons. Properly prepared sets, which are the whole tuber cut in pieces and used for planting. A small tuber can be planted whole, while a big tuber can be cut into pieces. Depending on the variety, yam are harvested between 5 to 10 months after planting.
Well, good morning, viewers at home, and welcome to the first edition of AM Cafe in the new week. My name is Adeyemi Aboderi. Well, the festive period is gradually, approaching. I mean, the Eid Kabir festival, and we want to use today's program to look at something that is gradually, becoming a norm. It has become a norm in the society where we lived in, Nigeria as a nation. And that is contaminated or adulterated foods and beverages, which are everywhere. There's no corner you get to now, you don't find, adulterated food and beverages. And their side effect on human consumption, human being, will be difficult to quantify. So we are going to look at the rate at which adulterated food and beverages are emerging, uncontrollable in our society, their side effects, and what government should do at least to arrest the situation. Are there enough legislation, to arrest the spiraling effect of adulterated food and beverages? What are the rules? Agencies like the Standard Organization of Nigeria and NAFDAC, are playing, to stem the tide. I have someone with me in the studio this morning. He's a medical doctor. We are going to look at it together. My guest is a director of public health in the Osun State Ministry of Health. Let me welcome Dr. Akim Bello on board AM Cafe this beautiful Monday morning. Dr. Bello, you are welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Moderator.
Yes.
It's nice to be here. Good morning to our viewers at home.
Yes. Let's kick the ball rolling. Contaminated or adulterated food and beverages. To our viewers at home, what are the meaning of this? Adulterated, contaminated, whichever way, food and beverages.
Once again, good morning to viewers at home. When we are talking about adulterated food or beverages, we meant food that are impurities that have been added to it. That ideally they are not supposed to be parts of the food or drinks, because our people are selfish. They want to make more money, and they had some materials to increase the quantity, not the quality of the objects, of the drinks or the foodstuffs, to increase the quantity, and by that, the profit they make will be increased. They don't care about the health of the person that will consume the food or drink. So it's because of the bad behavior,
the urge to make more money.
That reason that.
And let's look at food and beverages, that falls into this category of adulterated food and beverages. The festive period is approaching, the Eid Kabir, and we want to use this program today to keep our people alert of the side effect, the danger inherent in consuming these food and beverages as we prepare to celebrate Eid Kabir.
Well, if I can get it clear, your questions is two types. That you want me to tell our people, our viewers at home, firstly, the food that is easily contaminated,
yes.
or adulterated,
and
again maybe the side effects. Yeah, the food stuff that actually contaminated. For example, now this is the yam powder.
Yam powder.
Yam powder, can be easily contaminated.
How?
Yam powder. How? Of course, now I remember those days when we were very small. There are some people that dish ash, and they used to add it to the yam to make the quantity increased.
Ash?
Yes. To make the quantity increased. Then like these people, it's not only to increase the quantity, to make it like people that used to prepare this fufu. They use the herb bleach to make it to increase the whitening, to make it more, the appearance to be more attractive. But actually, when you look at it, it's the drinks that easily, and it's very common, from the eastern part of this country, where you have people that are producing wine in the houses, at the backyard. Not only in the wine, in Lagos, it's very common. You have to be very careful about the wine. And again, the palm oil, our people are consuming too. And that's some kind of dyes they used to add to the palm oil just to increase the quantity.
And to make it more reddish.
So those are the things are easily contaminated. Like the second part of the question is, yes, the impure things that are being added, it depends on the duration, the quantity. It affects our body systems. It may affect, for example, now.
What are the short-term and long-term effects?
Yeah, the short term that with every day, when you taste it, the taste will be quite different. It may affect your taste. Then it may react with your bowel. You may have vomiting, you may have diarrhea. That was gastroenteritis. But the long-term effect is that if it's consumed for a very long time, it may affect the kidneys, it may affect the liver, it may affect the heart. And again, somebody that's pregnant, it may lead to abortion in pregnancy. In fact, it may cause infertility in pregnancy. And again, it may lead to brain damage. Those are the complications that we have.
Dr. Bello, let's look at some of the effects you mentioned. Kidney failure, heart problem, liver problem. Remind me of the former Senate Deputy President who is having issue with her daughter, who is presently facing kidney failure. Could these adulterated food and beverages be linked to incidents like that when one suffer failure of both kidneys at the same time?
Yeah, actually, yes. Although that one is a very pathetic story. It's a very pathetic story, but we need to be very careful about the things we take, we drink, and we eat. And also, there are some studies. This one may not be applied to the lady, because there are some studies, there are some cream, there's some body, there's some soap that contain high content of mercury, some other metals, that when you take them for a long time, they have to, eventually they affect the kidneys and they lead to renal failure. Many drugs too. There are some drugs too that if you take them for a very long time, because the way they are being excreted from the body is through the kidney, and the kidney may become overwhelmed and give way. So it can lead to renal failure. What are we calling renal failure? Renal failure is that the functions of the kidney in the body, the kidneys will not be able to achieve those functions. Again, the main function of the kidney's body to remove the waste
from the body.
From the body. And when the kidneys become overwhelmed, they give it and they will not be able to do that job. And that reason that when you start the patients becoming over bloated, the blood pressure will not be able to control the rise, and so on and so forth.
And what are the symptoms, to look for, in case one begins to manifest, things like renal, liver, and heart failure as a result of consuming, adulterated food and beverages?
Well. It may not be immediate. It may not be immediate, and that's the reason that regularly you may need to go and see your doctors. It will take a long time for you to become manifested fully. But if you are seeing your doctor regularly, your doctor will suggest you to some biochemical test. And through this it may be an incidental finding. When you go for example now, okay, maybe you just explain to a doctor, doctor, I've not been able to sleep, I have severe headache, my body, I don't know, the way my body is doing, I don't really like my, okay. And your doctor said that, okay, let me check your BP, and discover your BP is on the high side. Maybe the systolic is more than 40, the diastolic is more than 90. Your doctor can also, okay, let me, after checking your BP, can say, okay, go and check your electrolytes and urea, and discover that your electrolytes and urea, they are on the increase. That is the most likely your kidney is not functioning very well. And the doctor may start asking you, what kind of food have you been eating? What kind of food, or your drinks, or this kind of soap, your cream, body cream. Actually, those people they don't like the color of their skin. They want to become a white.
They go on bleaching their
skin.
They
are the ones actually affected with this kind of diseases, the renal problem, liver problem, and so on and so forth. And again, by the time you take any drugs, you need to look at the side effects. You know, majority of the drugs nowadays, that when you get a drug from a pharmacist, from a pharmaceutical store, they will write the side effects and chemical component in the leaflets within the drugs. So at least with that. But actually nowadays that the federal have so many laws that are dealing, which have been the Standard Organization of Nigeria and the NAFDAC, they are the one in charge of those things. And you know, when we talk about food contamination, or there are some unwholesome aspects on our people too, because all the drinks, all the beverages they are selling, the drinks, either the wine or soft drinks, they used to write expiry dates there.
Yes.
And some of them, maybe after the expiry date, must have becoming contaminated after the expiry date. And I remember there was a case, was it last year, late last year in December, there was a particular set of people that came to Shobo. We had to intervene there. My unit, the food and safety unit in my department, department in my unit had to intervene. We have to go there and we make some arrest.
They came to Oshobo with
yeah, of course, expired drinks. And you know, they just go to our markets. They start ringing bells and people will be coming that this is because it's very cheap. Like, but you know, those are the kind of things you have to look for. When you see now, maybe the drinks originally they are selling it for like maybe 3,000 naira per pack, and someone just came from Lagos, from outside Oshobo, from outside Oshobo State, and start selling her own 1,500. You must definitely.
One must be suspicious.
Of course. So those are the ways they do those things.
Dr. Bello, let's look at the aspect of people coming forward for checkups. In this part of the world, many people don't create time to do checkups, medical checkups. How their body, functions. Are they functioning well or not? What needs to be done, to correct whatever imbalances seen in the body? What are the advantages, derivable in presenting one for medical checkups?
No, actually, it's very how will I put it? We need to encourage. We need to encourage our people that they have to be going to see their doctors for medical, or at least regular medical checkup. Majority of people that are hypertensive don't know. It's only when I said that, okay, some of them say, I've not been sleepy, I have headache, it's not going, I've used analgesics, and the commonest analgesic being abused here, paracetamol. That I've used it, it to not go. But it's then when they go to hospital and they tell their blood pressure, this their blood pressure is. Let me give you an example. I used to have a mechanic that repairs my generator. Okay. The generator. This guy is very hardworking. But anytime you call him, within 10-15 minutes, anyway, he's the guy will appear. Incidentally, we discovered that this guy was having severe. But by the time we checked his BP was the one like 190, 120. And when I asked him that, you asked if he said he's not feeling it, he don't have any problem. That you're not worried. In fact, there are times I used to give him the drugs free. One day, the guy just collapsed. And within 24 hours, he died. That means he had stroke. And from stroke. So, what we need to do, there are some things that you don't know. if you have hepatitis, you may not know. It's only when you check your blood sugar level. Some people have hepatitis, they don't know. Some people have HIV, they don't know. But you know, these are diseases that when you're able to know at early stage, your doctor will be able to assist you get some drugs.
And
that
be able to manage it.
You need your normal life, or near normal life. So that's the reason. Almost all the illnesses that we're having, before they become chronic, it's only when they become chronic that we'll not be able to. In fact, that's the reason that when you screen for cancer, if you're able to detect cancer at early stage, it will not kill you. It will not. But the problem is that our people are so busy. They don't give a damn about going for. In fact, some people say, instead of me to go to hospital, they collect my money to do tests. Let me use the money to feed myself. But actually, with what we are having in our state nowadays, and that we are encouraging more people to enroll in health insurance. And these it should be mandatory policy, or one of the health insurance, that at least twice a year you must go to hospital and do general checkup. You know, definitely, when you are on health insurance, you don't pay. The health insurance will pay for you. That if it should be part of the policy of the health insurance, but part of the packages, that at least once you pay for premium, you can just walk into the hospital twice a year, do general checking.
Dr. Bello, let's look at our focus this morning, the effect of adulterated and contaminated food and beverages. Are the side effects of consuming these things, this product, are they life-threatening?
That's exactly what I told you. You know, for example, now, it depends on the duration of the consumption. If somebody has consisted impurities or bad impurities for a long time, you know, it will get to a stage of no return.
A stage of no return.
Of no return. That's what's happening. It affected many organs in the body. Affect the liver, affect the kidneys, affect the heart, of course. That's why you don't stop it. And some of them too can lead to cancer. Somebody that is having chronic kidneys, like chronic liver disease, chronic renal disease, chronic heart disease, definitely what happens. Eventually, they will die if the organs are not replaced. And in Nigeria today, how you go to the place?
Well, viewers at home, we are still on the program, AM Cafe, and my guest is State Dr. Akeem Bello. He's the Director of Public Health in the State Ministry of Health. We have been looking at the side effects of consuming adulterated food and beverages. Dr. Bello, what should people they look out for when they want to buy food and beverages this time around?
Well, my advice for people is that, you know, in those days, when we eat natural things, fresh things, directly from farm, you don't have this. This thing is not that rampant.
Yes.
But when we start living the life of the humans, and that's the reason that we're having more problems. And again, you know, if our people, if you want to get any of your drinks, beverages, you go to proper registered supermarket to get it, and look at the NAFDAC certification. So in our NAFDAC certification, you look at them there, and You have to be very careful about the prices of, because when you know that some things are, the prices are ridiculously low and they're very cheap, you have to be very careful that how can they be selling a bottle of palm oil, maybe 1,000 in Owode market? I'm just,
Yes.
you know, Owode market, and when you get to Ghana, you see somebody selling I want 500 naira.
500 naira.
You have to be very careful. Something must have been fishy. That most likely this is not. And again, when you get things like this now, you need to invite the experts or the security people. Of course, security people, they can come, they want to investigate. During the course of investigation, they can find this thing, is it adulterated or not adulterated? So we need to be very careful.
Dr. Bilo, if you look at some of the adulterated beverages, most especially, they also carry NAFDAC and SON certification, which are forged. And it will be difficult for people at times to differentiate between a forged and genuine certification.
I'm not too sure, but now there used to be a way you can check on the net. There used to be a way you can check on the net with the NAFDAC number, or some of them, they have barcode.
Yes,
you can use the barcode to cross-check are they or not. But things like palm oil is going to be very difficult. Because it's very difficult. They are locally made. And again, that's the more reason that when you have programs like this going on, you sensitize our people. And again, there are some NGOs in town that they go to villages, they carry out advocacy visits to people that are making all this palm oil and so on and so forth, to tell them the right thing. Look at the issue. When the issue of bromate came up.
Bromate, yes.
Yeah.
Used in the production of bread.
There was a lot of activist visits to bakeries, to the bakers.
Yes.
And before, eventually, the war was won. So that's what we need to do.
Yes, your agency, the Directorate of Public Health in the Ministry of Health, are there any collaboration with agencies like NAFDAC and Standard Organization of Nigeria to stem the tide of rampant increase in the adulterated food and beverages? No.
I'll tell you very much. We have a department, like the unit, food safety in the public department, and we have a desk officer. And very soon we're about to launch a committee, interministerial committee. We are about to inaugurate an interministerial committee concerning all this, that the NAFDAC, the Ministry of Health, the security, other security agency, Ministry of Justice, Environment are being involved.
Okay.
And we are going to be working in collaboration under one umbrella. Okay. And when we have an issue like this now, that we can call ourselves, we discuss it among ourselves, form of move out.
And when that gets underway, I think there should be a line, to be made available for the public,
Sure.
to call in whenever there's a problem in town. But before we go, but for the benefit of our viewers at home who are speakers of our language, local language, Yoruba, we have to take some of the questions in Yoruba for them to benefit, from this program. Akin Ekojúmọ́ ẹ̀yin àtọ̀hún tẹ̀ ń wà lé AM Cafe orí ẹ̀ láwà lórí tẹlifíṣàn OSBC ilé àwòye òkè Baálẹ̀ Òṣogbo. Bọ́dún ṣe ń kànlẹ̀kùn, ọdún léyà ṣe ń kànlẹ̀kùn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n yìí. A lo ètò tèní láti rán àwọn ará ilé létí pé ohun tá a jẹ ohun tá a mú lásìkò ọdún yìí ká ṣọ́ra torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ oúnjẹ jíjẹ àti nǹkan mímu tó wà nígboro lásìkò yìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹ̀ ni àwọn èèyàn ti pa owó ẹ̀dà torí àti jèrè rẹpẹtẹ tá a bá wò gbòòrò báyìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan mímu tá a la fẹ́ fi ṣọdún ló dàbí pé wọ́n ti tọwọ́ ìrúbọ tí ò jẹ́ ìtàwọn èèyàn máa ń pè ní original mọ́ kò dẹ̀ sí ibi tí ò dé oúnjẹ náà ńkọ́ fùfú láàjẹ ni ìgbà kan ní wọ́n fi aipo fọ fùfú kó lè funfun wọ́n ní wọ́n fi eérú náà wọ́n dà mọ́ pando yam kó lè pọ̀ ẹnìkan wà ní pẹ̀lú mi nínú ilé agodo láàárọ̀ yìí onímọ̀ ìṣègùn ni wọ́n dókítà Akeem Bello àti ń wò ó àwọn oúnjẹ wo làwọn èèyàn ń ṣèrú ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń pawọ́ ẹ̀dà kí sì ni ohun tó lè tìdí à ń jẹ oúnjẹ à ń mu nǹkan mímu tó jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn torí pé kí wọ́n lè jèrè rẹpẹtẹ wọ́n ti pawọ́ ẹ̀dà àwa tá à ń jẹ a lè mọ̀mọ́ ńgbà míì wọ́n ti sọ fún wa kí ni la lè fi dá oúnjẹ tí wọ́n pawọ́ ẹ̀dà àti ọ̀ríjínà mọ̀ mo kí àlejò mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí dókítà Akeem Bello káàbọ̀ sí ilé-iṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun àti sọ lédè òyìnbó wọn lẹ́nu tó bá pò èso òyìnbó ní àná ní ó fẹ́ nu ara ẹ̀ túmọ̀ oúnjẹ tí wọ́n pawọ́ ẹ̀dà tí wọ́n ti mísì nǹkan míì mọ́ oríṣiríṣi mélòó ló wà ń gbòòrò ọ̀nà wo láti gbọ́dọ̀ láti lè dá wọn mọ̀.
ẹ ṣe gan-an olóòtú ẹ̀rọ alẹ́ ẹ káàárọ̀ àpòjúmọ́ ẹni ṣẹ́rí àwọn oríṣiríṣi oúnjẹ ni àwọn èèyàn pàwọ́ ẹ̀dà ló máa ń fi àwọn nǹkan tí kò yẹ kó wà nínú wọn sí ibẹ̀ nínú àwọn oúnjẹ yẹn kí náà ni wọ́n ṣe léyìí fún torí èrè tí wọ́n máa jẹ.
torí èrè rẹpẹtẹ.
yes kò ń ṣe pé kí oúnjẹ yẹn fi lè dá wọn kò fi lè ṣe nǹkan tó dá lára but torí pé kí oúnjẹ kó fi lè pọ̀ sí lójú so that èrè táwọn máa jẹ ó máa pọ̀ sí and adẹ ti sọ bá ti sọ àwọn oúnjẹ bíi tó yẹ ká kí á fùfú lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ní èlùbọ́ wọ́n lè dá irú wọ́n lè dá sí èlùbọ́ wọ́n lè fi mix ẹ̀ in fact granulated sugar wọ́n lè fi chalk mix or no but àyè tó wá pọ̀ jù ní àwọn nǹkan mímu bíi àwọn wine kí tó kúrò ló jẹ epo pupa gan tí à ń lò àwọn aró kan wà tó máa fi mix epo pupa pẹ̀lú omi tó máa jẹ́ kó pọ̀ sí so kí wọ́n padà sórí àwọn nǹkan mímu ẹ̀wọ̀n pé nǹkan mímu ló kọ́mọ̀ jù bá a ṣe rí nǹkan mímu tó ń tajú àwọn nǹkan mímu àti aládùn tó wà àwọn yẹn gan ló kọ́mọ̀ jù tí ó bá tẹ̀ jẹ́ kọ́mọ̀ nílẹ̀ tí ó bá dé Èkó àwọn kan wá dókè iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ń ṣe lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní ẹ̀ àti ní East ibẹ̀ náà tó máa ń kọ́ wá síbi so àwọn kìíní dẹ̀ ní àwọn tó ń tà wọ́n kò sí nǹkan tó kàn wá nípa ìlera wa kò sí nǹkan òrèrè táwọn máa rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe fún because àwọn kìíní yìí wọ́n máa ń ba ìlera wa jẹ́ tí èèyàn bá ti ń mú wọn fún ọjọ́ pé tí èèyàn bá ti mú fọ́jú pẹ́ẹ́nu ẹ̀jẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ èyí tí ó bá yẹ pé kò ṣe original tí a bá ti sẹ́nu ẹ máa rí pé ó yàtọ̀ lẹ́nu. Two tí èèyàn bá ti lò ìgbà máa pé ẹ máa rẹ nìyẹn tó máa bì tó máa yàgbẹ́ tó bá tún wá pẹ́ jù ó lè fa àìsàn kíndìnrín ó lè fa àìsàn ọkàn ó lè fa àìsàn ẹ̀dọ̀ ìgbà míì gan ó lè fa jẹjẹrẹ sínú ara olóyún tó bá lóyún nígbà míì tó bá lọ àwọn kìíní ó ó lè jẹ́ kó yún ẹ̀ bọ́ àjẹ́ kó wálẹ̀ ẹlòmíì gan tí ò lóyún ó lè má jẹ́ kó rí oyún ní so ẹlòmíì ó lè affect ọpọlọ so gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí ò dáa tí kìíní yìí láti ṣe lára láti ṣọ́ra fún yẹn and àwa náà dẹ̀ ni àwa tá a jẹ́ pé nǹkan aláti máa ṣọ́ra fún ara kìíní tí ẹnìkan máa ń ta ìgò epo ẹ̀ lẹ́gbẹ̀rún kan tẹ̀lé pé tí a bá dé ọjà Owódé tẹ́ máa bá nẹ̀ kí wá dé ọjà ní Ìgbọ̀nà kẹ́nìkan wá dá wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan kó máa ta tiẹ̀ níbi àpò méjì àbọ̀ ẹ máa rí pé ìyàtọ̀ ẹ ti pọ̀ ó yẹ kẹ́lẹ́ ti bá di pé ibo lẹ́ni yìí tí bá kú jalè pé bo ló ti rí tiẹ̀ irú ẹ̀dẹ̀ kọ́ mọ̀ ní lọ́dún tó kọjá ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ àti rẹ́díò kan tó wá ń lu agolé àwọn ọtí ẹlẹ́rìndòdò kan oní alágolo ló ń lórí ní ọjà Ìgbọ̀nà àwọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ ń pè ọ̀há máa fi débà rí pé ọjà tó ń tà ọjà tí ò dáa ni ọ̀tọ̀ ìgbà yẹn àwọn ọlọ́pàá gbé ń gbà yẹn o but ọwọ́ wa la máa tún ìwà ara wa ṣe.
Ní àkótán bí ọdún ṣe ń kanlẹ̀kùn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n ní ṣókí kí ni ìmọ̀ràn yín fáwọn èèyàn?
Wa ìmọ̀ràn mi fún àwọn èèyàn wa ni pé níta bá máa jẹ ká máa sọ jẹ and lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ lẹ́nu mo sọ ká máa sọ pé àlò nǹkan tó bá ti máa tó ẹ̀ bá kéré jù tó cheap jù la máa rà ká máa fọ ara wa ṣera wa.
Well, I want to appreciate Dr. Akim Bello, the Director of Public Health in the State Ministry of Health, for finding time to be on the program this morning. He has talked about the side effects of adulterated food and beverages and what we should be looking out for. And they said we should be careful when buying things in the open market, that we should mostly, patronize shops and malls where you can find original food and beverages. Is that not so? Sure. Well, I want to appreciate everyone that contributed to the success of the program. Today, the producer of the program, Jolade Barola, the executive producer, Jolade Barola, and the producer of the program, Shola Ogunleye, and the entire production crew in the studio here. AM Cafe will return tomorrow morning, same time, same station. Until then, my name is Adeyemi Abodere. Thank you for being there, and good morning.
It's taken low and flattened straight at the goalkeeper. It's headed in, and Tunisia lead by 2-0. The follow-up is good, and Mamai gets to to celebrate with her teammates. Mamai Ilusi. And it looks like Weena as well. The goalkeeper is headed in, and Tunisia lead by 2-0. The follow-up is good, and Mamai gets to celebrate with her teammates. Mamai Ilusi.
Rumela le tele kwa pele a bone naga ya Burkina Faso ba kitla fela kgele be feta kgakala le dikota ya go tlosa le goal kick na le ka go rotloga jalo ka kgileo Sawadogo Belkisa Sawadogo Belkisa White away Rumela Banile le sego Burkina Faso Banile le sego Motakarialo Bagabo ba re ba itlhobile kwa pele fela ba kgona go sireletsa mo molenga nako ba re ba ithutse a ba le gone at the right place at the right time a nako e matshwanedi a ba na le gone mo molenga.
It's again opportunity, looking for opportunity, and great save by the goalkeeper. Tobard well positioned this time around, as well as Marcus Guns, to really have a look at this first half. Break it down bit by bit as to what worked and what didn't work for me.
Kitla feta go di ba di kota pile na kitlile Rasmata fela pileo
Over the years, ball played in.
And those are the highlights from the ongoing Women African Cup of Nations going on currently in Morocco. Of course, matches were decided yesterday and matches continues today as far as Group C is concerned in this year's Women African Cup of Nations. Ombatayo Adebono is my name, welcoming you to AM Sport this morning. And yes, we're ready to take you around the latest happenings as far as sport is concerned. This is the maiden edition for this week. And yes, we hope to serve you bigger and better this week. Let's begin with the result of matches that were decided in the Women's African Cup of Nations yesterday. And from the highlights you've been seeing, Senegal did the needful against Uganda, getting the 3-point. Of course, 2-0 it ended between Senegal and Uganda yesterday. It was goalless between Cameroon and Zambia in the ongoing Women's African Cup of Nations. And Tunisia recorded the highest win margin. As far as competition is concerned, they recorded the highest win margin by defeating Togo 4-0, 4-1 in that encounter. Of course, it was 2-1 when Togo got a red card in that encounter, but 4-1 it ended in favor of Tunisia in the ongoing Women's African Cup of Nations. Today, 2 matches will be going down, and you consider those matches as some of the biggest matches in the Women's African Cup of Nations. The Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Bayanas of South Africa. Many Nigerians have called on the Super Falcons to turn the Bayanas to banana, so they can fry them and chop them today. But we'll see how things pans out. It's an encounter for 90 minutes, and yes, the better team would get the 3-point and yes, and win at the match today. 6 p.m. is the match between Nigeria, Super Falcons, and Bayanas of South Africa. And let's let you know that we are doing everything humanly possible here to bring you the live coverage of the Super Falcons match by 6 p.m. Just tune in by 6 p.m. or join us from our respective online streaming platforms, Facebook and our YouTube page as well. Join us for the live coverage of the Super Falcons match. And yes, it's going to be another cracker today when the Super Falcons take on the South Africa. Remember, the South African Bayanas have been to the finals of this competition, Women's African Cup of Nations 4 times without getting it. And remember, in 2018, it was the Super Falcons who defeated South Africa to claim their 9th successive their 9th title of the Women's African Cup of Nations. And talking about the most successful women's team in Africa, you talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. They are the most successful team as far as this competition is concerned. We hope they will be able to continue their impressive run on form. And from there, Burundi takes on Botswana by 9 p.m. in the Women's African Cup of Nations. From there, let's move to the Nigerian Professional Football League and talk about NPFL results this morning with just 2 matches and 2 match day remaining in the Nigerian Professional Football League. MFM have been confirmed relegated from the Nigerian Professional Football League, and of course they would be playing with the likes of Osun United in the Nationwide League next season. Yes, Dakada FC on Saturday defeated Katsina United. Abia Warriors defeated Gombe United 3-2. Atlanta 1 and Sunshine Stars 0. Of course, Rangers International played out a 2-2 draw with Shooting Stars. And of course, yesterday, 3rd of July, Plateau United defeated Lobby Stars. Rivers United defeated Kano Pillars. MFM of Lagos were defeated by Niger Tornadoes, while Remo Stars pipped Enyimba International 1-0 in that encounter. Wiki Tourist defeated Aqua United 2-0, while Kwara United defeated Nasarawa United 3-0 in that encounter. And of course, you know that Rivers United are champions already, but Plateau United 64 points on 2nd position. Remo Stars with 56 points and 3rd on the table. Kwara United 4th on the table with 55 points. Yes, we have Shooting Stars with on 15th on the table with 45 points. Kano Pillars this time around 45 points on 16 on the table. And MFM of Lagos confirmed relegated 20th on the table with 36 points. And 19th on the table is Dakada with 43 points. Atland FC 44 points, 18th on the table. And Katsina United with 45 points on the table as things are going on as far as the Nigeria Professional Football League is concerned. Of course, it was Jose Pizarro was available to watch the game in Ikenne yesterday. That was the match between Remo Stars and of course, the Super Eagles head coach continued his monitoring of home-based players as he went to Ikenne in Ogun State for the MPFL game between Remo Stars and Enyimba. And of course, it is the 3rd venue Jose Pizarro visited since becoming the coach of the Super Eagles. And from there, let's quickly talk about Israel Adesanya. This time around, Israel Adesanya is one of the fighters that is making Nigerians proud after defeating Jared Kaner. Yes, the Minister for Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dare, has congratulated the Nigerian-born UFC champion Israel Adesanya on yet another successful title defense. And Adesanya's early yesterday in Las Vegas, United States of America defeated Jared Kaner to retain his UFC middleweight crown with an unanimous decision victory. And Dari, in a statement, praised as Israel Adesanya for being a worthy ambassador, yes, of the country. And the Minister of Youth and Sport Development said Nigeria is proud of the achievement of Israel Adesanya and another UFC champion, Kamaru Usman, who have both continue to identify with the country every time they compete. Yes, these guys are not afraid to say they are from Nigeria or they are Nigerian. Of course, they've been doing well as far as the the middleweight title is concerned. Yes, from there this morning, let's quickly move to Wimbledon and talk about the 100-year celebration. Yes, of course, Wimbledon marked 100 years of its center court yesterday with a musical celebration and parades of champions, former champions, and eight-time men champion. Talking about Roger Federer Federer, who is not playing this year because of a knee injury, said he hoped to play at the famous arena one more time in the future. And it was Wimbledon stalwart Sir Clive Richards and British singer Freya Reading performed at the crowd. Yes, he performed at the tournament. And it was, of course, Marita Natorovitola, who holds the Wimbledon record with a 9 singles title, tweeted that she was gutted that she had to miss the celebration due to contracting COVID-19. And yes, also present at Wimbledon yesterday were COVID heroes in the NHS and social care, along with refugees from Ukraine, Afghanistan, and Syria, who are settled in Metron and Wanda Sport. Of course, the champion, yes, the championship moved to its present site on Church Road in 1922, the same year Center Court was opened, and of course, built in just 9 months. It is now the 6th largest tennis specific stadium in the world, with a capacity of 14,979. And yes, it was a gathering of champions at the 100-year celebration of Wimbledon yesterday, but that didn't stop matches from being played yesterday, as we understand that Novak Djokovic has progressed to the next round of the ongoing Wimbledon, the men singles this time around. Yes, defending champions, talking about Novak Djokovic, continues his pursuit of his 7th Wimbledon title as he reached quarterfinals with his first set win over Dutch wildcard Tim van Rijswijk, bidding for the 4th successive triumph at the All English Club. The top seed won 6-2, 4-6, 6-1, 6-2 on the center court. Yes, a good one for Novak Djokovic. And let's wrap up this morning as we talk about the women's category of Wimbledon, where Britain Heather Watson said she missed a big opportunity as her hopes of reaching a first Grand Slam quarterfinals at Wimbledon were ended yesterday by Jules Nielmer, and Watson lost 6-2, 6-4 on center court in a match preceded by a celebration to mark the show's court centenary year. And the German world number 70, number 97, Neumann, who is 22 years, will meet a compatriot Tajana Maria, who is ranked 103 in the world for the semi-finals plays. Let's wrap up this morning. We need to appreciate many people that made this production possible. Omotayo Adebodu is my name. Muidin Adeleke is the producer of this program. Until tomorrow, I say don't stop loving sports. Good morning.
It's a beautiful Monday morning and the first in the month of July. Welcoming you to today's edition of Newspapers Today. My name is Oluchi Amuda. I have with me the front pages of quite a number of the national dailies in Nigeria, and we will be taking a look at the stories that made it to the front pages of the newspaper. And I'm starting with the Points. And the Point has the story as its banner headline: Countdown to Osun poll. Parties orchestrate defection of disgruntled opposition elements. Has camp split in PDP, APC. And it comes with the riders, Ekiti result, presidential candidates, domino effects, looms. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Point newspaper this morning. Yes, next we have another story. Despite hard times, investors take 485.84 billion naira in 54.27 billion shares in the second quarter. And still on the front page of the Point, 8-year-old pupil crashed to death after school sent her home. Over 300 naira. Very sad. 8-year-old pupil crashed to death after school sent her home. Over 300 naira. The government's incompetence and insecurity beyond comprehension. Ayo Adebanjo. Widening cracks in PDP as threats to Atiku's presidential ambition. These stories are on the front page of the Point newspaper. Next is The Nation. Please, let's have it on the screen. And The Nation newspaper is leading with this: PDP crisis, Atiku forecloses discussion on office sharing. Standard bearer to meet Wike, lead reconciliation process. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of The Nation newspaper this morning. And we have other stories. 18 die in Lagos-Ibadan expressway night accident. A very sad one, so. Yes, above the masthead of The Nation newspaper. Let's have it on the screen, please. 1.4 trillion naira recovered from debtors, says AMCON. Stock exchange axes 9 firms over poor governance. These stories are on the front page of The Nation newspaper. And next is the Vanguard. And the Vanguard is leading with this story: VP slots, APC governors insist on colleague as compensation. And it comes with the riders, Tinubu pushes for Shatima, stakeholders in dilemma. Ignore Northwest, pick your running mate from North Central, Northeast. APC tells Tinubu. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Yes, we have other stories as well. Christians don't need guns for self-defense. Adeboye. Fuel scarcity won't end soon. New penguins. And below the picture story, banditry, terrorism. 2 ex-CDS, Agua Ibrahim back recall of retired military officers. Amechi promises to end Rivers APC crisis. Borno PDP crisis deepens as youth chase chairman out of office. Kaduna teachers not sacked for incompetence. Labor. Trade attack. Shehu Sane decries non-release of captives 95 days after. These stories are on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving now to the Daily Sun. And the Daily Sun is leading with this: VP slots, Tinubu looks towards Northeast, set to snub Northwest APC governors as party keeps mum. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Daily Sun. And we have other stories as well. Below the picture stories there: PDP crisis, stakeholders shop for IU's replacement. Party setting up powerful committee to meet Wike, says BOT chair. Armed robbery suspects beat Waterloo in Delta gun duel, and fuel security worsens in Abuja. Next is the Punch. And the Punch is punching is this morning, still on story on politics. It says PDP orders panel to beg Wike, drop Okowa Governor's loyalist insist. And it comes with the rider, ex-VP's price for picking Okowa over Wike may be to lose. Reps, others, Rivers Governor PDP's pillar, we will beg him not to defect, argues BOT chairman. Replacing Wike with Okowa will create more crisis, says PDP chieftains. And moving on to the Guardian, stakeholders fear Lekki Port will replicate Apapa pace. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Guardian. Yes, and we have the picture stories there. The state of the Lekki Port. Next is the leadership. And the leadership is leading with this story. CSOs, IPAC raise concerns over electoral fault lines. The cry, vote buying, voter apathy. Want electoral offenders prosecuted, seek improvement in collation of election results, electronic transmission. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the leadership newspaper. And we have other stories about the masthead of the leadership. Shiroro attack. We counted 48 bodies. Youth leader. FCTA enforces 7 p.m. closure of parks from today. These stories are on the front page of the leadership newspaper. And next is the national economy. And it has this story as its banner headlines. Tougher times ahead of economists forecast higher inflation. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the national economy. And above the masthead, FG tax on carbonated drinks will boost revenue generation. DMO. Conflicting court rulings frustrate AMCON's 5 trillion naira debt recovery drive. These stories are on the front page of the national economy. Moving now to the Daily Trust. And the Daily Trust is leading with this story: 30 killed in Ogun-Yobe Kogi road accidents. This is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Daily Trust. And it comes with these riders. Autonomous convoy involved as truck crashes 4 vehicles on Abuja Kefi Road. Yobe traders die on way from Kano. FRSC traffic violation, night trips. Blames traffic violations, night trips. What we are doing about it, cause spokesman. Yes, above the picture story there, FG revokes training contract for Niger Delta ex-agitators. Let's quickly take a look at what this day has for us. It's leading with the story: Atiku killings, insecurity persists because previous acts have not been punished. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of this day. Excuse me. A New Telegraph has this: 1.8 billion naira recovered property. PDP demands Breta's recall probe. Blames upsurge in terror attacks, killings, orders, and corruption. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the New Telegraph. And the blueprint is next. And it's leading with this story: NWC member on Tinubu's running mate. Competence, not religion, will guide APC's choice. Muslim ticket will further raise security concern. Insist on federal character principle, national interest. Pick Christian from Borno, Kebbi, Adamawa. Groups root for Lalong, North Central candidate. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the blueprint. And we have another one: Okowa, no division in PDP. Article declares. And below the picture stories, we have this: Osun 2022, INEC conducts mock accreditation today. These stories are on the front page of the blueprint. Next is the Nigerian Tribune. It's actually the last, but not the least, and it's also leading with story and politics. It says PDP running mate crisis. Atiku, Ayu, governors, orders to meet Wike. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. And we have other stories Above the masthead, 2023, APC Northeast tackled Northwest. Wants Tinubu's running mate from the North Central. I did not ask Christians to buy guns at the Boye. Self-defense, Arewa elders canvass joint task force in Northwest. Night travels, accident claims 18 on Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Experts, NPC members worried as government debt rises to 12 trillion naira in 1 year. These stories are on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Yes, I have my regular guests in the house who'll be analyzing these stories for us this morning. Dr. Yinka, you're welcome to the program.
Fine morning, Luchi.
How was your weekend?
Beautiful, thank you.
Yes, let's start with politics, because it seems the political stories dominated these papers this morning. The PDP is having crisis, the APC is having dilemma over running mate. So the PDP has gotten theirs, that's crisis. APC is still shopping, that's also crisis. What is happening?
Yes, let's look at the two in perspective. Let me start with PDP. The problem of PDP is fundamental.
Okay.
And if they don't solve it, I don't think they are going to have any headway in this election. How do I mean? A committee was set up by the party to recommend possible running mate for Atiku. Recall, he has the first line charge to choose. You understand? Even if they give him 20, he has the right to choose one. They gave him 3. He chose one. Is his right. But the party is not happy with his choice.
Okay.
But the fact still remains that he has to choose one of the 3%.
The committee actually recommended Wike.
I'm trying to say that in spite of the committee's recommendation,
Okay.
he has a right to pick.
Okay.
The committee can recommend, but he has to choose. So
Okay.
he chose the one that pays him. Now, the party now generally are not happy with that choice. In fact, they are wishing, if possible, that he swap the two. That is, he picks Wike and drops Okowa. But there's a problem here. They've submitted the name of Okowa. And for you to change any name, only 2 things can happen. If the person chosen dies, or he personally relinquishes that position. And I don't see Okowa relinquish. It's not easy.
Why do you think the PDP? Please, let's have this. The nation has that story.
Yes.
Why do you think the party is actually rooting for Wike?
Wike has support.
All right.
He has the numbers. You see, politics is about numbers. Even during the primary, he came second, don't forget. So one would have expected that he's the natural one to. But you cannot blame Atiku. He's been clever by half. Atiku, you see, the first law of nature is survival. Atiku, don't forget, he had been a vice president too. He knew what he did to his boss then, Obasanjo. So he would not want somebody like him to do the same thing.
Okay.
So it's a survival thing for Atiku. Talk from morning till night, he won't pick him. So they have to find a way of solving it. But in politics, anything can happen. Now, they are trying to pacify Wike. Wike's resolve has been hot. He's seriously feeling hot. If he says he will not leave PDP, which I'm sure he will not leave, but he may work against PDP. That's why they are all going to him to beg him. That guy is crazy. I'm sorry to use that word. He can't do anything because they have hurt his ego and he's feeling very bad.
Don't you think what is actually making him to feel hurt could be the fact that all the southern governors
met
and decided,
and it was Okowa that championed.
Decided that the presidency should come to the
obviously.
south. Now, do you think if Wike is given the position of the vice president that he may want to take it? Don't you think he may actually be betraying the
No, he will
agreement
take
had?
it if he's given. Don't forget, that's why he's feeling hot now. He thought, since they have set up a committee, committee chose him. Naturally, he felt Atiku would choose him, but he did not choose him. So double jeopardy for him.
Right.
In fact, he actually wanted to be the president.
Okay.
So
that's on the part of
on the part of APC, it is the issue of religion. whether Tinubu should pick a Muslim as his running mate or pick a Christian. I will repeat what I said. Ideally, we would have expected that he should pick a Christian. But the situation in politics is not ideal.
Okay.
It's about figures. Tinubu knew that the figures in Nigeria when it comes to voting is in Northwest, followed by Southwest. He is from Southwest. So naturally you want to pick from Southwest. But the people said Southeast now. I don't see that coming. If it happens, well,
Northeast.
Yes, Northeast. I don't see that happen. But if it happens, that means there must have been meeting of minds. He is trying to think of the number. See, that's the difference between Atiku and Tinubu. Atiku is thinking post-election. Atiku is already thinking that he has won, that this is a person you can work with. But Tinubu is thinking of the election first. Like, let me win. Let me now choose somebody that will make me win. Then we can now decide the rest later. He's going to pick a Muslim. Some people are saying if he picks Muslim, they will not vote. And I ask him, has he won? They have other options now. If he picks a Muslim, you don't like it, go vote for any other party. He will pick a Muslim, going by what is ongoing. Okay. Because the North has warned that if he picks a Christian, they are not going to support him. Don't forget that he needs their support. And he will pick a Muslim.
All right, he will pick a Muslim. Then the Muslim organization is saying that Muslim ticket will further raise security concern in Nigeria. And they are insisting on the federal character principle as well as national interest.
See, politics has some federal character is for employment. Okay. When you want to employ, you want to balance. This is politics, mark my word. It's about numbers. You cannot tell a politician, well, you can tell him to balance, but you will be looking at what will make him win. He wants to win first. He will say, when we get to the bridge, we will cross it. Politicians, they don't care.
The blueprint has this story, still talking politics. Osun 2022, INEC conducts mock accreditation today.
Can you imagine? And some people are saying that election will not hold. I've said this somewhere this morning. My partner was saying, I said, election will hold. There will be issues, as we have issues now. It's like a mirage. I like using that analogy. You are traveling, you see front like there is water. The closer you get, you see that there is water there. That's how it is. Mock election will be conducted today. In fact, the INEC chairman is already in Osun. Yes, I don't know if you are aware of that. Of course. So somebody will not be saying on radio the election will not hold. It's a very serious issue. So for me, it will hold. There are issues. This phase, PHASC, phase will pass.
Okay.
It's been happening in other countries. US had worse problem than this. See where they are today. We will pass this phase too and we'll move on.
Okay, let's look at the benefits of this mock election. What are they?
It's very necessary.
Okay.
I remember when I was in I don't know whether that is still happening. Yes. Yes, they want to test the waters and to see where problems could ensue. In fact, kudos to INEC for doing this. When I was in secondary school, before WAEC, we used to do mock exam to test where problems will come, to test the strength of the students, to know where they are weak and where they are strong. It is the way to go, so that by the time the real exam comes, even football clubs, they pay. There's about in Premiership now. There's going to go, the new season will soon start, but they are already testing the waters. Pre-season is already being played. It is to find out who is strong, who is weak. How can I? So the same way, I give kudos to INEC for conducting this mock test.
All right. Now the national economy has this story going to the economy right now. Tougher times ahead of economy. Ahead as economists forecast higher inflation. You think it can also actually be higher than it?
It can be higher because of what is happening. They are still killing people.
Okay.
You have what happened in the North Central. I think Niger State, for example, they kill farmers, and some people say they still pay tax to these people. How would you say inflation cannot go down with this? But we are saying that with all this, I'm very happy that election is we are at the twilight of an election. This regime is going out. The days of this regime are numbered. There are two ways to change what we don't like. It's either we allow war, we allow anarchy, and change everything, or we allow election to hold. That's why I'm choosing that of election. Oluchi, I am very passionate about this country, Nigeria. Nothing untoward will happen. You know the scrotum of a ram, when its profit will be shifting, it won't drop.
All right, it will only be shifting. So this phase will
it
pass
will only
according
be,
to you.
it will pass. This
All
phase
right.
will pass.
Still talking about the economy. Fuel scarcity won't end soon. New Peng ones.
Yes, Nupen is saying that I bought PMS. I bought 160. I think it was close to one. It was close to 170. 169 naira 50 kobo.
Okay.
At 156 this morning. But on Friday I bought 165. That's to tell you that the regime of buying where it pays you is coming.
Okay.
But it cannot come fully because the subsidy should not be removed. Let us endure now, as I've said, for this regime to just go.
Okay.
No matter how long the night is, day will come. Brand new day.
All right. Still on economy issues. FG stacks and carbonated drinks will boost revenue generation. Do you agree with that?
If I had will boost
revenue generation.
Yes, in one way it will boost, but in another way it will cause problem because cost of production will be higher. We have been saying cost of doing business in Nigeria is high. So perhaps if I had my way, I would have suggested that they don't add that. But it's added. They are looking at generating revenue. They are not looking at the bad effect it will bring to people doing business. I teach a course called production. It's called a kind of productive aspect of doing things. The production management. I teach it, and this is what I teach my students, that government should be wary of compounding the problem of those who are because we need production in this country to allow prices to come down.
All right. The Daily Trust has this story: 30 killed in Ogun, Yobe, Kogi road accidents.
This road accident is becoming. We used to say that when December is near, accident, but we are not yet there. The ember months, we are not there, but so let us pray that God should intervene.
All right. FG revokes training contract for Niger Delta ex-agitators. Still on the front page of the Daily Trust. Let's have it, please.
That training was what Yaradua brought in, and it doused the tension. Maybe some people are now trying to make money out of it. Maybe that's why federal government is dousing it. The tension is doused, but it cannot continue ad infinitum. Especially now they are saying that there is no funding. So I think federal government should appeal to them. They should not just yank it away. If you want to move a child from milk dentition to, you don't just yank the thing away. I don't want to mention it. It's a gradual process.
All right. PDP demands Buratai recall probe 1.8 billion naira recovered property.
Yeah, but Buratai is denying that fact that it doesn't own the property. So that's why I say EFCC should dig deeper. Deeper, not deeper into it to find out if truly he owns those properties.
Okay. IGP, how operative foil syndicates attempt to steal 3.4 billion naira.
That's the way to go. We want them to be foiling bad attempts.
But the government is trying to promote cashless economy. So why would people be having such amounts of cash?
It's not the government, it's the people now.
Yes.
Government is doing its own best. But are the people resonating with government? That's the big deal. That's why I said the problem we have with this is not government alone. We the people, we are playing a very bad role too. We don't resonate with anytime government try to make a good move, we find a way of circumventing whatever law government brings.
All right. Before we go, let's touch this. I did not ask Christians to buy guns, Adeboye.
Thank God he said so, because initially what we heard was that he was saying that everybody should fight for it. It's a wrong thing. You know, in Yoruba land, we see people like that as abore. Abore are people who are on top of. So, he should not have said that. But thank God he has denied. That's the way to go.
All right. Thank you so very much, Dr. Nkanji, for making it to the program.
Anytime.
This is where we will be saying our bye on to this edition of Newspapers Today. Thank you to my producer, Akinola Owolabi. Tomorrow is another day. My other colleagues will be in the studio for another edition of Newspapers Today. Until then, keep enjoying the rest of our programs. Good morning.